A bombshell inquiry has found Princess Diana was deceived and induced into giving her famous 1995 Panorama interview to BBC journalist Martin Bashir. The independent investigation led by retired Judge Lord Dyson found Bashir faked documents to land the interview in which Diana revealed intimate details about her failed marriage to Prince Charles.
Well, there were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
For more on this, I'm joined from London by Royal Editor at the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers. Russell, these are damning findings against Martin Bashir, but of course the BBC as well. Explain for my viewers at home exactly what Bashir has been found to have done and the importance of that Panorama interview in the life of Diana.
Well, hello, Peter. An absolutely extraordinary turn of events here that not only Martin Bashir has essentially been found guilty of using deception and deceitful methods to hoodwink Princess Diana into agreeing to that 1995 interview that was still talking about today, but certainly the corporation, the BBC chiefs, who were supposed to be having a duty of care not only to Diana but all of their subjects and employees, failed in that duty. And certainly that the people who were supposed to be keeping Martin Bashir on a leash, essentially, because he was a rogue reporter, failed in that duty. And certainly there are questions to be answered of the corporation at large today.
I'll get into the responses from Prince William and Prince Harry in a moment, but what's been the general sentiment in the UK?
Well, I think one of complete astonishment that Lord Dyson, the former head of the Court of Appeal here in the UK, was chosen to head up this independent inquiry. It was criticised at the very first moment that potentially it wouldn't have the teeth to summon witnesses, that he was relying on their good will to come and speak to him. But when you read the 127-page report that was published yesterday, it was absolutely extraordinary in its detail, talking about willful neglect, a wholesale misunderstanding of the nature of the integrity and trustworthiness of the BBC. That really leaves some huge questions to be answered today of the national broadcaster. And certainly the comments coming from the palace, from both brothers themselves, have been absolutely scathing in their assessment. Certainly the BBC are left picking up the pieces today.
Well, let's play some of that for my viewers at home. The blistering responses from her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Here was Prince William letting loose on the BBC today.
It is my firm view that this Panorama programme holds no legitimacy and should never be aired again. It effectively established a false narrative which for over a quarter of a century has been commercialised by the BBC and others. This settled narrative now needs to be addressed by the BBC and anyone else who has written or intends to write about these events. In the era of fake news, public service broadcasting and a free press have never been more important.
Not just a tough comment from a royal, that's one of the toughest responses I've ever seen anyone land at the BBC. How has the BBC responded?
Well, you're right, it's extraordinary. Certainly the establishment is taking on the establishment. And I think that not only you can sense the anger and frustration, but William went on to speak about his indescribable sadness that this catalogue of events that has eventually led to his mother's untimely death was surrounding her fear and paranoia in her final years. Certainly the BBC are on the back foot. They've been sending letters of apology to the Queen, Prince Charles, Princes William and Harry, Diana's brother, in order to try and sort of quell this fire that is sort of raging out of control. But certainly the BBC as a corporation has severe questions to answer, even though it was more than 23 years ago. And no doubt there have been wholesale changes, but it's rather bruised and battered this morning.
The other son, Prince Harry, he went further. He claimed the press was responsible for killing Diana. Now, to what extent is that true, Russell? And do you expect perhaps the brothers coming together in their condemnation of Bashir and the BBC might be somewhat of a way to break bread after some very difficult months? They're due at Kensington Palace, aren't they, to unveil a statue of their mother in July. Will we see a rapprochement?
Well, perhaps we had thought that we would. I mean, Harry's statement was again full of fire and fury. He's talking about the ripple effect of this sort of practice leading to her untimely death. But when you look at William, it's very, very measured. It was very statesmanlike. I think he's still talking about the need for a public broadcaster and a free press. However, Harry was using it as a broadside to attack the media, talking about there are still dark forces at play, if not instances like this in the Martin Bashir programme, but worse, he was saying. I think some people did hope that they would be united in grief over this. However, I've just waking up this morning to the headlines of Prince Harry talking to Oprah Winfrey in this new documentary with Apple TV, and he's talking once again about how the royal family were guilty of total neglect, and this won't go down very well at all. And as you mentioned, they are due to see each other face to face on July the 1st for the unveiling of a statue of their mother. Whether Harry does make that because his wife is heavily pregnant, who knows? But again, I think that Harry is launching attacks all over the place from his base in California, and it hasn't been going down too well this side of the pond.
Well, this side of the globe, it hasn't gone down too well either. Just before we go, one of the things that's always stayed with me was the comments of Diana's brother, Earl Spencer, at her funeral service. Now, 20-odd years on, they have stood the test of time. They are very, very germane comments about the media. He was involved in all of this. He has done an interview of his own at the BBC. Explain, if you can, what role Earl Spencer played in negotiating the Bashir interview.
Well, Earl Spencer was front and centre, really. He actually met Martin Bashir nearly 2 years to the day from when she died. He was speaking about that yesterday, that he was saying that he definitely did draw a line of correlation from the moment that he met her to then the time when she met her death. And certainly Martin Bashir gained his trust in order to get an introduction to his sister, Princess Diana. But that's part of the crux of the matter. Martin Bashir is accused and has been found guilty of using fact statements from her most trusted confidants and royal aides that were falsely. All of this was part of the web of deceit about the issue that was the issues that were happening, and it makes for a very good reading.
Russell Myers, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.